Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's Master User Group, also known as the MUG. The MUG series has been created to guide InsideTrack's current and future users to maximize the full power of InsideTrack. For our newcomers, this is a monthly series happening the last Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. Eastern. Each of our sessions will feature a different core InsideTrack report or tool. That information is going to be shared to you through a live demo, master user insight, followed by some Q&A at the end. Our goal is to help you feel equipped to utilize all the InsideTrack has to offer you. So before we get started on today's session, just a couple of housekeeping things to cover. We are recording this session so you can watch it back, share it. You can access that recording from our InsideTrack website. The link is in the chat section for you. We're also encouraging lots of questions. We have members of our InsideTrack team here, as well as Shelly Heaton here. So please, any and all questions that come to mind, put them in the question section of the GoToWebinar window. And then lastly, don't forget to hang on till the very end. We promise some prizes and we will be giving those out then. So now it's time for us to dig into today's MUG topic, which is contract renewal. The savvy feature of InsideTrack is your resource to stay on top of your contracts that are in need of renewal or coming up for renewal, all housed in one place, and so much more that Tyler will dig in for you today. To get your feeling that you're leaving today as a master user, we have the InsideTrack team that will take us through that high-level overview of the software, dig into our contract renewal demo, and then pull in Shelly Heaton, the Vice President of Procurement Services at San Manuel Casino, as our master user. So with that, I'd like to turn things over to the InsideTrack team. Scott and Tyler Delaporta, take us away.
Great. Welcome, everybody. We have a lot of new users that joined us today. So really quick, we'll talk a little bit about InsideTrack, what we do. We're able to electronically get data from about 1,000 distributors, and we put it all in your system for you. We were able to run reports, look at items by category, slice and dice your data any way you want. We're also able to benchmark your data against the commodity markets. Look at why your prices are going up or down. Down bottom, this little ticker down here, we have access to about 9,000 commodity markets, where a click of the button, you can bring those up and see kind of how those items are trending. We have price range reports, which we talked about last series. It looks at items that you're buying across the country by different distributors, the same distributors, and different prices you're paying. Got a lot of new ads, and that's why I want to talk about them today. We have order guide compliance, which is something brand new that Fran's team launched a few weeks ago, and that looks at your order guides. It looks at your order guides by compliance, looks at maybe potential price overcharges, increases and decreases to items, based on the market, and also looks at added items. We have, an order guide that's locked down, and all of a sudden you start adding items. How do you know your items get added? Well, we do. We would take that report and send it to you. Distributor inventory. Now we're kind of fully integrated with Cisco and a few other broadliners. We can take the distributors inventory and kind of put it in a quick, easy widget and look at it by customer, by category, by item, and kind of have alerts set up so we can look at your out of stock or your items, days on hand or weeks on hand. And then to the left-hand side, nothing changed there. We can look at, all your contracts, all your rebates and reports. We have plenty of reports that we'll get into over the next couple months, but price range reports, rebate summaries, top 100, top 25, just to name a few. But today, we're going to dig into the contract workflow, and Ty is going to take it away and give you an education on that particular widget and function.
Sounds good. Yep, so just going off what Scott said on the left-hand side, you guys can see here we have this contracts tab. I'm just going to click into that, and you'll notice a few things. We have active, need renewal, history, and contract renewals. I'm just going to jump into active, and really the way to look at this is like a giant electronic filing cabinet, and this is for all your direct deals, deals that GPOs put you on, any document you guys have, we have customers that have equipment and supply agreements in here and distribution agreements. It's a nice way to keep everything organized and keep it centralized in one spot, and it gives you the flexibility to actually search not only by contract name, contract owner, and you get to see the start and the end date for each one of these contracts. And you can actually go to the top right-hand corner. You could type in whatever you want to type in. You can just type in Unilever, and a couple options here. We can actually click on this, and it gives you a quick snapshot of what items are covered under this current deal. And what happens with this one right here, this is actually kind of a generic layout, and it's going to show you basically all those items that are covered under this program, so you quickly jump in and out. If I go back out to here, I'm going to go into need renewal and kind of walk you guys through the contract renewal process. So if I click on this, what this screen is going to show, it's going to show you every contract that you guys have, that's coming up, has either expired or is coming up for renewal either 30, 60, 90 days prior. And what's nice about this is we can actually alert you when these deals are coming up for renewal. So letting you know 30, 60, 90 days prior to your contracts expiring, we can actually send you what we call a contract renewal report. And what that looks like is, let me just run this. And we can click on this arrow over here, and what happens is the report gets put down in the bottom left-hand corner. This is something that you guys are able to do on your by yourselves. We can also run this and automate this and send this to you. And I'm just going to open this up to show you guys what this looks like. And this is the contract renewal report. And what this will do, this will look at everything that you're buying from this manufacturer that's covered under a current deal. It's also going to highlight those items that are not covered. And what's nice about it, it gives you a quick snapshot up top, shows you, total quantity you're buying from this manufacturer that's not covered, total quantity that you are buying that is covered with a grand total, and then gives you an overall contract coverage with this manufacturer. So in this example, this is just Bacon Joy. You can see we have a few items over here on the right-hand side in column L. It lets me know if these items are on contract or not. It's going to highlight the items that are not on contract in gray, and then it's going to show you the items that are covered and give you that contract cost per item. So what's nice about this is we have this renewal form down here. We can actually go to this, and you can highlight or pinpoint those items that are not covered, and we can actually take this and send this directly to the manufacturer with inside the portal. And if I go to, if I go to Bacon Joy, go right over here, we have this contract workflow. And what this allows you to do is this actually opens up a direct line of communication with the manufacturer. So you can actually take that Bacon Joy contract renewal report, attach it directly in here, and send that directly to that manufacturer or that contact to put that contract together. And you can ask them to send you, send you a quote for those non-contracted items, or just send you the renewal. But it gives you a direct line of communication with that manufacturer. And what's nice about this is, it allows you to keep everything organized by manufacturer contract. And you don't have to sift through emails. You don't have to go through your emails and wonder why you either got items added to this monthly deal or this quarterly deal. It's all housed right in here by contract, by manufacturer. So you have that chat history with that manufacturer from the first time you started. So what happens is when a manufacturer sends a contract back over, a contract quote, we can then run what's called a contract impact report. And what that's going to do is that report's basically going to show you if that the quoted items that manufacturer gave you, whether or not it's going to be a good deal moving forward, if it's going to save you money, every month, every quarter, every year. And what this report will do, it will show you the original price you're paying, the new quoted price that manufacturer gave you, and the overall impact it's going to have on your spend by item, by location, and at the bottom we kind of have an overall snapshot. Let's go down here. 1 second. And we have an overall snapshot of what this is going to save you. Let's just say per month. This is an example where the prices are an increase. So you can actually take this report, get back to the manufacturer, and then ask them to sharpen their pencil or try to lower the cost on 1, 2, or 3 items, depending on what items you're looking at and what items they quoted. But that's kind of the whole process where you can get an impact report, what the new contracted quote is going to save you, and then you can actually approve those quotes that come through. So if it's a contract that's expired and you're working on a renewal, you have all that information over here. They send you a quote, we can run an impact, and then you can simply just check off and sign off on that contract, and it gets pushed back into our active contracts. We can then take that push that back out to distribution and get that new contract with those new items loaded for you guys. So that's kind of the whole life cycle of housing all your contracts in one spot, being able to manage them by either searching by contract name, contract owner, and then having the ability to quickly expand and enhance your current deals by getting items added, and then being able to run analytics on those new quoted items and making sure it's going to be a new, a good contract going forward. And then simply just approving it, getting that pushed back into active contracts, and we'll push it back out to distribution. And then if we are auditing, we're going to make sure that that contracted cost is in place. So that's kind of the full process of the giant life cycle of all the direct deals and how to manage them. If you want to add anything else into that, or if that's
that kind of completes the life cycle. And
Yeah.
just because and we have Fran Moya in here, who's our CTO, just because we're doing it this way today doesn't mean that maybe a customer's doing something different, but it's the same kind of, strategy that they're looking at, and Fran's team can look at that and maybe enhance it or build it.
Yeah, want a different feature or something like that, we can definitely add that.
And then one more thing up top here in this chat. Just slide this over. Sorry about that. Let's move this down. So inside this chat over here in the contract workflow, we have two buttons. This is nice. You're able to invite other users within your organization, especially if you have multiple people working on maybe the same contract or in charge of the same manufacturer, whatever it may be. You can actually go in here and you can invite a user. So you could just go in here and type in anyone's email, hit invite, and then they're going to get a workflow chat that looks like this, and they'll be able to jump in and kind of go along in that whole entire workflow process as well.
Could be your boss, you might need an approval on the contract, just to keep them in the loop. So, having that ability to tie in someone that can approve a contract makes it easy.
Yeah, and then once you're ready, once you have that contract renewal report ran, whether we send it to you automatically or you ran it yourself, we have this manufacturer chat right here. And as soon as you hit this button, what happens is that manufacturer is going to get a notification in their email that will allow them to open up this chat, and they get a similar chat box that looks just like this. They can work with you back and forth with. So that's kind of how the process will get started, where you can have that renewal report. You can attach it in here, ask them to, can you send me a quote or send me a renewal? And then as soon as you hit this, that goes out to the manufacturer. They get the link, they click on it, then you guys can start negotiating, going back and forth from there. All the while, you can start adding in users that you want in on this manufacturer, contract negotiation. So that's.
Yeah, it's nice having the contracts all in one place, whether it goes to a manufacturer or stays with the organization. Having it right inside the portals is a big feature.
Yeah, and seeing your prior conversations with the manufacturer is key, especially if you switch people within your organization. At least all the history is right here.
And that's what the contract workflow looks like. Fran, anything? No?
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. So efficient and organized to help everyone stay on top of everything, especially with so many things going on today. I want to introduce our master user who's joining us today, Shelly Heaton from San Manuel Casino. She's a longtime user of the InsideTrack's software with more than 20 years of experience within the gaming industry. Shelly is a highly accomplished procurement executive. At San Manuel, she oversees 5 teams of procurement, logistics, fleet, wardrobe, and contracts. She's responsible for creating key strategies utilizing data and key performance indicators, developing a well-defined and transparent purchasing culture, and champion best-in-class spend management. Prior to coming to San Manuel in 2017, she led procurement at a mixture of tribal and corporate organizations throughout the country, including Shooting Star Casino, Ameristar, United Nation, Enterprises, and Seneca Casinos. Shelly earned a bachelor's in business administration from Dickinson State University and then a master's of business admin at Minnesota State. And then outside of everything that I just listed that she does, she loves spending time in her sunny home in Southern California with her husband, 4 children, and grandbaby. So I will turn it back over to you, Tyler, to dig into all of the knowledge that Shelly has to share with everyone today.
Perfect. Yeah, Shelly, thank you again for your time. I'm glad we're able to do this.
Very glad to be here.
Perfect. So just want to kind of go through a couple questions with you on how you utilize, not only the software, more specifically, the contract management part of it. So I guess just starting off, what part of the contract renewal report, does your team rely on most?
I'd have to say the reminders, but the communication with the manufacturers is wonderful.
Gotcha. Perfect. And going off of that, how has the contract management tool helped you and your team stay organized?
By centralizing all our documents into one place. Before we had this, we had whiteboards with our all dirty, scrunched up whiteboards with all of this haphazard information. And now my contracts are easily accessible to pull up and see what is and what's not covered, when things are expiring.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because it's nice being able to just honestly just have a search bar and be able to type in the name of the contract and pull it up and have it right in front of you in a second. So, no, perfect.
Handle on all our contracts.
Yeah. So how has the contract management tool streamlined communication for your team with manufacturers?
By giving me and my team instant access to communicate with the person that put my manufacturer deal together. I mean, I simply, as you showed earlier, I simply pull up the chat with manufacturer off to the right-hand side and have instant communication with them. Also, I like it because it keeps each manufacturer conversation organized, and it eliminates me from having to sift through hundreds of emails.
That's really the biggest part, is not having to go through your emails and figure out, why did I do this, why did I agree to that, or why did I approve it, and then you'll have that chat history from the moment it starts. So that's perfect. So do you negotiate contracts with manufacturers through this tool?
Yes, I'm able to send renewal reports directly to the manufacturer to get new items added and to begin negotiating with them directly through the contract workflow.
Gotcha. I mean, that's the other thing too, just going off that, with being able to streamline and automate those contract renewal reports directly to, either whether it's you, your team, just being able to automate that on a monthly or quarterly basis. Next question for you. So what is something that you feel all people in your position should know about this tool?
The amount of money it saves my team, the hours that they are saved by InsideTrack team auto-generating the reports that go to my team members and adding new items to contracts. The volume of hours that are saved by this automation tool and the InsideTrack team and all the help that they give us.
Perfect. And then last thing I got for you, anything else you want to share, with the world about your experience with the contract renewal report or just InsideTrack as a whole?
I think we've been very thorough on the contract renewal report. It's a fabulous tool, but it's one of many tools that I use from InsideTrack. I've been fortunate enough to work with this team for many years, and I've been able to use them to audit my pricing, my contract pricing especially. I've used them to be able to help me review proposals from vendors and go back and negotiate further, from a broadliner perspective. Or it may be, we might be doing fountain soda, or we might be looking at chemicals, right? But just to be able to take those proposals and take a look and have your expertise to be able to tell me, what's right and what I should be able to push back on compared to the rest of the industry, what's out there and what looks right and not. So it's nice to have that expertise and that other set of eyes to be able to give you that information. And there's definitely been occasions where my team doesn't have time to go and do the RFPs, right? We often joke at San Manuel, because we're so busy and we're growing so fast that it's like driving a car, while you're changing your tires while you're driving the car. And so to be able to give, my RFPs and information over to your team and to the InsideTrack team, and to be able to get that stuff done on an extremely professional level is extremely helpful. And it saved us a lot of time and money.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all I have. And Jillian, I'll turn it back over to you if you have any questions from the audience or anything.
Yes, we absolutely do. And thank you, Shelley. The first question that came through is actually for the InsideTrack team. Is the contract renewal report included in what I already pay for InsideTrack, or is that a separate tool that needs to be added?
So that's going to be based off how we start, because that's one of the suite of services we offer. And when we initially go through before we sign someone up, or they're or we put it together. It's going to be, if they want to utilize the contract management part of it, that's going to be included in the price. So
It goes back to the agreement they
Yeah.
sign. I mean, that's one of the features that's in Widget that they can actually sign up for. And there's a cost to it. And it just depends on what agreement they have in place.
Yeah, because we'll have the check boxes going right down the list. That's right in there. So
Perfect. So it sounds like connecting with you guys on that is the best way to go. Another great question that came through is, if I send a renewal through the portal, what email address does it display, and how will the vendor know it's from me specifically?
That's a fun question.
Yeah, so the system will send it in the name of the system, but it will have a reference to obviously who the client is and what the agreement is. So the manufacturer will actually come to our system, so they get the notification in their email with a link to our system, and they come to our system, and then they can see what contract the whole information is referred to, and they will talk to you. So they will see that your name invited him or her to that conversation.
Okay, perfect. So they're getting it from the InsideTrack system, and then they'll see specifically the person's name. Thank you. Let's see. This question is about the messaging feature. So for that messaging feature, how do you know if a particular manufacturer is set up to work within the tool? Do they have to have access to InsideTrack to use it?
no, I think just going right off what Franz said, it's going to go right to their inbox. So they'll get a message right in their Outlook inbox, and they can just go on it, and it just pops open into a little chat.
So I think something that might be important to mention is that the chat box that I showed, that you have one of those for each contract that you manage. So you invite the manufacturer to one specific contract renewal for one specific contract. They do get a link in their email, and they can come to the system, and just by entering the email in which they receive that message, they are in. They can get into that conversation. They won't have access to all your contracts, only to that specific conversation box.
Okay. Thank you. And then this next question, again, for the InsideTrack team, does the software keep the renewal terms of my contract to make sure I don't miss anything, or is that something I need to upload?
So the contracted term, right?
Right, we set the date range in our system. So we set up, the contract comes in, we set the date range up, and then we also set reminders up to auto-generate before it expires, the renewal to be run. So
Yeah, so we'll have the start and end date of that contract within that list that we went through, and then we'll be able to notify you, on a monthly, quarterly, yearly contract, either 30, 60, 90 days prior to that contract expiring. So we'll always send you updates and renewals and alerts.
Perfect. And at the moment, that is everything that's come through for questions. But if anyone has anything else out there for Shelly or the InsideTrack team while we go through a couple of other elements, feel free to put those in there. But I do want to thank you guys all for coming on here and sharing your time in going through this, and let everyone know again that this is a monthly session, and our next session is Tuesday, April 27th at 2 p.m. and we're going to be reviewing the price and market trend widget. So that session will show you how to use the price and market trend widget to choose a category and immediately get a breakdown of which products in that category have the highest impact on your food costs. You can easily notice if there's a particular product or category that's trending upwards in cost, so that you can uncover what's causing that. We will also have on that next call a special guest from Folgers 1850 Coffee. They are going to be sharing some fun insights on their product, just keeping you guys up to date on all of your operational caffeination needs. And then a reminder, if you attend 6 or more sessions, you're entered to win that DeLonghi espresso machine. So definitely want to keep your attendance up. And then before we do go, we promised that we would be giving out 5 people that were the first to register and are also on the call today a cold brew maker and 1850 coffee machine. So I've got a team member in the background who's going to hop on now and share those lucky winner names with you all.
Hi,
Jen?
everyone. The 5 winners of the cold brew coffee makers are Cindy Keys, Steve Otis, Paul Serpernett, Ben Wegner, and Rick Allwright. And I will be emailing all of you to ensure that we have the right mailing address and you get those cold brew makers.
Very nice.
Just in time for the spring and summer, or if you live like where Shelly does, it's beautiful all the time. So get that cold brew brewing. That is actually all we have for today. There's no other questions, so must have been answered very well. So thank you, everyone. And again, the mug is actually working in coordination with Folgers 1850 Coffee. So that's what's bringing you all these fantastic prizes. But check out our website and sign up for our next master user group. And until then, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Shelley.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thanks, Shelley.